Many people referred to me as a murderer and a wanted criminal, but what they didn't know is that before I changed to be this person I am, I had a normal life and a happy family until one terrible thing happened into my life. My name is Zambo and this is my crime story.
To story time.
It was on 1st March the year 2018, whereby around 11 at night, I received a phone call from the hospital informing me that my firstborn boy had been killed. At first I didn't believe it at all. I thought I was dreaming until I saw the body at the morgue. And that's where I realized it was real. I couldn't believe what I saw. My boy was full of blood all over his head. The doctors said that he was shot directly on head and they couldn't do anything to save his life. My second-born and my husband, they didn't have words to say at all you could see was tears. It was just past few hours where we had a dinner, all of us as a family. Everyone was happy at the moment, until my dead son said he wanted to attend a certain party downtown the street. And that's the last time I saw my son and said goodbye to him, not knowing that this time he wasn't coming back home at all. What I couldn't understand is why somebody would decide to kill him, yet he had no enemies at all. He didn't involve himself with the drugs business neither. One-on-one I reported the case to the police, and they promised me they will investigate what had actually happened, and whoever who was involved will rot in prison. Their words were full of hopes and promising. At a moment I was fooled by their words and I actually believe they will find justice to my son. I wish I knew. And so, according to our culture, we buried my son and prayed for his soul to rest in peace. And after the burial, that's where I realized how world is unfair and corrupt. Because tell me, how is possible that one soul is lying down underground, while the person involved is just enjoying his or her life somewhere? The first week I wasn't aware of myself at all. Stress took control over me. I took all kinds of drugs to minimize the stress and forget terrible things. It reached a point where my other son and my husband decided to move out the house and search other place to live since I had become like a mad woman. They tried to talk to me through it, but it didn't work. I even tried joining other therapy groups, but it was all wasting of time. It reached a point where I was almost to kill a person due to influence of drugs. After 1 month, I returned back at the police station to see where the investigation had reached. To my surprise, not a single police even remember my name, even they had thrown away the investigation. All they said to me was that the case was hard to investigate, and that if I wanted justice, the only thing that can motivate them is money. Without shame, they demanded me to pay them $10,000 for investigation to continue. I didn't believe at all. What I did was just looking them at their eyes and I smiled, saying, "It's okay." And that is where I decided to do the investigation on my own. That day evening, my young sister visiting me at my house, and this time she came with a very interesting news to me. According to her, she told me that she had been investigating who killed my son, since her and my son were very close friends and they understood each other very well. Now, according to the information, my son was killed while walking around a certain streets which is well known for gangster activities, and so without wastage of time, we confronted one of the members to ask questions on what actually happened that night. And with a little threat and force, he confessed everything he knew. According to him, my son was shot by a certain hitman who is very famous around the street. And after the man giving us information, believe me or not, I killed him without hesitation. I wanted blood for blood. But now things started going out of control. Since every person we confronted, I made sure I had killed him with a headshot too. And that's where the police noticed a certain pattern on the bodies they were finding. But remember, there is nothing they could do since except my sister, no one else knew what I was doing. Despite my sister trying to talk to me to stop killing those people, I didn't listen at all. With the amount of anger I had on me, not even my family recognized me at all. All that was on my mind was revenge. I promised myself that everyone who was involved will pay. Now there was this person we confronted on his house, and in coincidence, I found myself alone on his bedroom. At the time my sister was outside guarding the house. To my shock, when the man confessed, he just laughed at me, saying I was very foolish. At first I didn't understand him at all, but that is where he told me that the person who hired him to kill my son was my youngest sister. I thought he was just joking, but trust me when I say he was very serious. I asked myself, why would my own sister kill my son? Now I became more crazy than at the beginning. My sister didn't realize that I had already knew the truth about her. All she could do was just pretending to be innocent. Now I had a hard decision on my hands to make, but first of all, I wanted my sister to tell me the truth, face to face. Why she killed her own blood. And for that reason, I confronted her and demanded for pure truth, and that's where I really knew how the world is messed up. According to my sister's words, she and my son heard a thing, like they used to meet in her house and they would make love together. Not mentioning my sister was like 10 years old than my son. At the time I couldn't believe it, but that's where things started making sense, since my son used to spend a lot of time on her house. But why would she kill him yet they were in love? That's the important answer I wanted out of all. Now here is the reason. She said that one day my husband caught them together at her house while they were making love together, and so she tried to beg him not to tell me anything about them, but my own husband refused to hear. And he told her if she wanted to be a secret, they must make love together with him. Now it had turned that my husband wanted to betray me too. And that's where my sister decided to kill my son, so that when she refuses to cheat with my husband, and he decided to tell me the truth, my son will not be there to acknowledge that those accusations were true. And because of anger, that's where I picked a gun and shoot my sister at head. Then one-on-one I went to my husband's place, and believe me or not, I burned all of the house down together with my husband inside it with some other fellows. Indeed, I had turned into a monster. And within time rumors spread all over that I was the one killing people. To make it worse, my son knew that I killed my own sister and his father too. And so everybody hated me so much to a point that they wanted me dead too, but I wish they knew the reasons behind my actions.